Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great spring. This is New Jersey Garden, Zone 6A. I wanted to do my 2023 Peony Tour, and this is my little side garden bed by my deck, and I have 3 different types of peony plants growing in here. My original plan was to cut some of these and sell them, but I was away unexpectedly, and I just wasn't able to harvest these in time, so I want to enjoy them and cut some of them. I just got back yesterday and they're all in full bloom, and this one over here is quite lovely. It has a great fragrance. Normally they're a little smaller than this, but this year the blooms have gotten quite large. And then this one in the middle here is a really bright one that's the first to open up for me. And the petals are very fragile, and it does drop a lot of pollen, but it's quite a cheery variety. And what I'll do is, when I get to the front garden bed, I will put the varieties that I know of on the screen so you can see what varieties they are. Here again is that pink variety. It's kind of like a deep fuchsia color with a little bit of almost looks like, frosted edges with white edging. So they're quite lovely. And then Sarah Bernhardt is one that a lot of people know. It's this pale pink one. It's very ruffly. It's dropping on the ground. So normally I would pick them when they're a little bit smaller than this. It's called the marshmallow stage, when you see the buds just starting to open up, and if they're soft, you can pick them. And after you put them in a vase, they get bigger and bigger each day. And the Sarah Bernhardt ones are fragrant as well. And then over here is another one of those really bright, cheery, my early bloomer peony that's starting to go past. The petals will fall off, after it's bloomed, they'll fall off in the wind. So there's 6 plants in here. And they've been around in this garden bed for about 8 years. I moved them from another location. And then over here, I have a great big lily plant here. I divide my lilies every 3 years. They do get pretty big. And then I have Sweet William in here that's in full bloom. I'm going to be planting some more of it. It is a biennial, and I haven't had to plant any. I guess it's been self-seeding every year, but I want more of it. It makes a great cut flower, and it has a slight clove fragrance. And I got these seeds from Pine Tree Seeds. I just love the variety. Like on one stalk, you get all this different color variation. Then over here, here's my Ceranth. It's starting to move a little bit in terms of getting bigger. This area I think may be a little too shady for it, and I haven't planted much in this bed before, so the soil just maybe isn't great. It hasn't been, conditioned. There's some daffodils that went past. Then I have some, and then this is an update on the Ceranth. They're still pretty small. They've been growing a little bit, but I think I just planted them too early in the spring, and this garden bed I don't think has the best soil in here. I haven't planted much in here before. I have some daffodils that went past. There's a bunch of feverfew in here, so I'm hoping to get some feverfew. It's the double feverfew. Then over here is just a bunch of daylilies with some snapdragons in here. And the snapdragons are still pretty small. And then over here, this is my favorite garden bed. I have poppies blooming, irises, catmint, and then there's all my other peonies. So let's take a walk and see everything. And by the way, this is my neighbor's cat who likes to follow us around. His name is Stitches. So these poppies are called Princess Victoria Louise. They are oriental poppies. I grew these from seed, and they're completely in full bloom right now. They have a dark center. The blooms only last a couple days. They have a very thin, papery texture. Then down here I have a catmint. Then there's some more Princess Victoria Louise poppies. Then I have some red oriental poppies. They really kind of look orange. And what I like about poppies is, oriental poppies, is they make these nice seed pods that you can use in arrangements. There's some more red poppies. By the way, this big plant here is wild bergamot, which is the native version of bee balm. So I'm hoping to see some blooms in a few weeks on that. There's a Princess Victoria Louise poppy. Oh no, the deer have done some damage. I had a white fragrant lily that I did spray with deer repellent. It looks like we may not get all the blooms on this because the deer nibbled on it. That's too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 stalks it nibbled off, which is too bad, but oh well, that's what happens. I don't have a fenced off area, and I do spray my plants with deer repellent, but they get damaged by deer. So I do try to grow things that are deer resistant, like this catmint here. And there's some more Princess Victoria Louise poppies. And then what I'm so excited about is this beautiful iris. This is called Blue Suede Shoes. It's the second year. I planted it 2 years ago. It didn't bloom last year, but it's just beautiful. And it's supposed to be a reblooming iris, so it'll be great to see if it blooms again. Then there's another iris here called, I think it's Jennifer Rebecca, and that one's just going past, and it's much shorter. And it's also reblooming. This plant here is yarrow. There's more yarrow down here. This spiky plant is liatris. There's a lavender plant. This tree here is a crepe myrtle. It finally leafed out. It's the last plant to leaf out in my garden. I have a lot of brown-eyed Susans in here. I planted some cosmos. Recently they're starting to pop up. I am going to move some of these brown-eyed Susan plants to my fenced-in garden area so the deer won't eat them, because the deer do like to eat brown-eyed Susans. This is a lilac shrub. And then we're getting to see some of the peony plants from this side. I'll walk over through the back and then we'll walk around just so you can see all angles of these peonies. This peony plant actually started from seed. I had a seedling develop just in the ground near one of my plants, and it's like a hybrid of my varieties of peonies. It's very bright. This one also developed from seed. This one is not fragrant, and neither is this one. I think this one is called Seashell. But this, and this hybrid has a lot of pollen like that original one that I, well, one of the ones I showed. This plant down here is a low-growing perennial called soapwort. And this is our mailbox, and I do have to show you the clematis this year. It is looking amazing. So many buds. I don't know what variety this is. Okay, let's go look at these peonies over here. So I have 8 peony plants in here. This one is that pink scented one. Then these ones over here are all closed up, but they normally open up. And they have very big petals, that they're closed right now. There's 2 of them, here and here. Then I have this paler one, which I think is called Seashell. Then I've got a coral, unscented. I may move this one. It is a little bit in the shade under this dogwood tree here. So I'm thinking I might move it. And then I have 2 of those. Well, I guess I only have one of the seashell plants. And then that one back there is different. Let's walk around and see those. Okay, these ones I believe are called Kansas. They're unscented. They get really huge. And then this here is another Sarah Bernhardt. This one here is a double white called My Love, and it's the most fragrant of all my peonies. And I did stake couple of the peony plants with these metal circular stakes. It just helps to prop it up, because some of the peonies just get so heavy that the blooms will fall to the ground. Okay, so that does it for this peony tour. I hope you guys enjoyed, and happy gardening. There's Stitches hanging out in the garden. He's such a sweet cat.